Hey guys, this is the BMW 740 LE. Now, when I first saw this car's huge front grille, and in pictures, as it was internationally presented, I kind of laughed. It was a bit too big, a bit too, didn't translate well in pictures, but now, live, the reaction from me is much better. I think it looks great. It's imposing, it's brash. It gets you looks, it's more in your face. I like that. But these days, BMW are taking things a bit more differently, design-wise at least. So you have this big upright front grille over here, sleeker, more slender headlights. These have the blue tint, the BMW laser stuff. Got a much more resolved, neater front end with a front apron over here that has these nice little slats. Moving on to the side, we have 19-inch wheels and front air strakes over here to dissipate air from the wheel well. That's more upright, a bit more brash, just to follow the front. And mostly on the sides, it's quite similar. You would not really take it for a brand new 7 Series. So moving on to the rear of the car, it's not really a huge change from the G11, the pre-LCI or life cycle impulse facelift to us. If you recognize the previous car, you will recognize this car over here. There are slight changes to how the housing is shaped and kind of formed into the rear bumper. This chrome strip does exist still, and it's kind of a staple of this class of BMW. Overall though, I think it's a very well-resolved design. It's a car that is more imposing, a bit more brash, and a bit more sure of itself. I think that is a really good kind of direction for the 7 Series and for BMW in general. And so we step inside the BMW 740 LE. All right, I'm going to close it very lightly. And it closes by itself. Isn't that great? Okay, so we're inside. The fit and finish in here is beautiful. The materials are really plush and premium. I'm sitting on Napa leather seats in this beautiful cognac color shade. This is like being in a luxury airliner, isn't it? You have the metals over here, you have carbon cotton speakers. This is a 16 speaker system, 600 watts, thereabouts. Sounds great. This gray porous wood over here. The leather is very plush everywhere, even on the door panels. This very like micro suede material on the ceiling over here that opens up this panoramic roof. We also have a glass roof on the front of the sunroof. Man, sitting here it's a place to be. It's a really nice plush place to be. You've made it if you're sitting in the 7 Series, and it's yours. Over here we have the center console over here, and you can eject the tablet, which controls all your media. And the thing is, this is, even from the front, this is clearly made by Samsung, and of course it is made by Samsung. So this controls all your media, things that go on the screen. You can control things like climate, either from this tablet itself or from the very well stocked center area over here, where you can have headphone jacks, you have climate control. It's really quite beautiful. Well done, BMW, well done. This is a place to be. I love it. I hope to own one day. All right. Again, I'm going to close the door very lightly. It never gets out of that. Okay, so I'm at the front. So the thing is, this is a limousine, but the thing is, BMW know how to make a car feel good to drive no matter what. Now, this is a very long car, a very large car, but it doesn't feel large to drive. And at the front here, it feels very much like I'm driving a 5 Series, like I'm driving a 3 Series. It's all quite familiar. The way you sit down, you can sit quite low in the car. You can feel like you're actually driving a BMW, not just driving a limousine, a very cumbersome limousine. But the thing is, the finishing over here, you're kind of experiencing just as much luxury in the front as you were in the back. You have the same kind of materials. It's very, very plush. The seats are very comfortable. You have this gorgeous suede-like ceiling liner, you have a sunroof all to yourself, and it kind of eggs you on to want to buy this car to drive instead of being driven, because in Malaysia you only have the LE, the long wheelbase version, when you can actually just, if you have this car, I encourage you to just give your driver a break for one day and go for a drive in this. It's a really nice car to drive. So why don't we go for a drive? Now the thing is, I put on a jacket, miraculously. This never happens, by the way. And the reason I did this, because at least if I don't look like a rich man or someone who can own this car, at least I can look the part of someone who can drive this car around for somebody else. So let's go.
So the other big change here is the engine. There's a smooth 3-liter turbocharged straight 6, where the older model used a 2-liter turbo, coupled to the same 8-speed automatic. And thanks to a more powerful electric motor, overall power and torque is 389 horsepower and 600 newton meters. That's 0 to 100 in 5.1 seconds. It's real gutsy, and as before, that goes to all 4 wheels. Driving it is so easy that
I feel like this car is sort of like driving a 3 Series or a 5 Series. I don't notice all the length behind me. I don't notice the mass all too often, because this car is very powerful. It's agile. It's so rigid in its structure, but so refined in its ride. I don't really feel that it's a cumbersome, long, really weighty limousine thing. This car, it's clear that BMW wanted to engineer it so that the driver is as satisfied, as engaged, as happy as people at the back. Damping is also supposedly harder. I can feel somewhat more spring rate being thrown at the air suspension over here. I don't really, it's still comfortable though. Sport is still comfortable. There is no Sport Plus, because that would be ridiculous to have a Sport Plus mode in a car like this. When you fill this car up, as I have before, to full, it gives me a predicted range, plus the hybrid range, whatever. Total range of about 400 kilometers. Not very far, not above 400, a little less than 400, 390 something kilometers. So it kind of mirrors the power output. Not that great. So far, I've been very impressed with how it drives and how it handles itself. But I think there is still yet more to be explored. I think my mind has yet to be fully blown by this car. Sorry, by this car's driving. It's comfortable beyond question. It's refined beyond question. It's all those things that a 740 LE or 745 LE should be. But I want to figure out what's the and more. And more? It's everything a 745 LE should be and more? I want to find out what that more is. But I can't right now. Maybe I should come back to this car and have it for a bit longer. It's been a pleasure driving this BMW 740 LE. It's a great car. You should definitely consider it, shortlist it. Maybe you can just buy it, because if you like driving, this car is for you. If you like sitting in the back, this car is for you. The same can't really be said about the equivalent Audi A8 or Mercedes S-Class. You just can't. They're different cars. This car is a blend of sportiness that's really quite amazing. It's very BMW, but it also is a limousine. It's a blend of the two. And that shouldn't work. That blend should be a mess. And the fact that it's a hybrid only adds to its strengths.